Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Dai, and today I'm sharing with you my TBR game rotating decks, where I have Uno cards help me pick out prompts to create part of my monthly TBR. So it's been a while. I haven't played this game in a couple of months, mostly because I was doing projects in November and December. So in November I did Light Novel November, and I was reading as many light novels as I could, and then in December I did my manga advent calendar project, which I'm still doing while you're seeing this video, I'm pretty sure. But I'm ready to get back into playing my TBR game and seeing what the cards will have me read for my first reads of the year. I'm really excited to play again because, like I said, it's been a while since we've played a round of rotating decks. So we're going to start fresh in the new year. We're going to start fresh, and pretty much nothing has changed as far as the rules go since I had talked to you about them last, except I did take out one of the prompts and replace them. So I did have a prompt in my deck for Kindle Unlimited, and I have since stopped my Kindle Unlimited subscription. So instead of Kindle Unlimited, I replaced that with Bought in 2023, which basically means to read something I bought in 2023. So I needed to put in that prompt anyway, since it is a new year. So that's the only change that I've made. All of the other rules since my last change still apply. We're still playing the same way. And so, yeah. Without further ado, let me switch you over to the gameplay and let's see what the cards will have me read for the beginning of 2024. So this is the setup for January's round of rotating decks. As you can see, we are starting the year off with a brand new deck. So I recently picked up this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck, and so I thought we'd start the year off with this brand new deck. And so I'm hoping we'll be able to play with it at least a couple rounds, but we shall see what the deck holds for us. As always, if you'd like to vote on the next deck that is used in the game, you can do so by clicking the link down in the description box below and casting your vote. So let's see what this month's round has for me for the beginning of 2024. As per usual, I have already shuffled the deck, so I'm going to have my daughter come over and cut the deck so that you know that I don't know what is on the top of this deck. Okay, the deck has been cut. We're going to do 3 pulls as per usual. So let's see what the deck has in store for me for my first reads for 2024. First card is a wild, which means we will not be playing with this deck. But that also means that I get to choose which color I'd like to read for this card. So let me just move this over. I think I'm going to go green since we've got some green going on with the TMNT here. So I'm just going to pull off the top and let's see what we've got. So that says to finish a series. Not sure if you're going to be able to read that if I get any closer, but finish a series. So that just means I need to finish a series. So that should be interesting. I got to see where I am with some of my series. But now, because I pulled a wild, I do need to switch out the deck. So let me go see what is on the spreadsheet for the votes that have been cast recently. Okay, we are back. So there were actually 0 votes that have been made since I think the last TBR game I played was in October. So nobody's voted, so we went ahead and chose whatever deck we wanted. And so we're using the Super Mario deck. Funny thing about this deck is that the same thing happened when I first tried to play with the Super Mario deck. We immediately had to change out the deck. I believe it was my very first rotating decks TBR game that happened on. So hopefully we'll be able to play with this deck for the rest of this game at least. So I have already gone ahead and shuffled this deck. So I'm going to have my daughter come back over and cut this deck so that you know that I don't know what's on the top of this deck. And let's hope that we can continue this game with this deck. Okay, 2 more pulls. Let's see what we've got for this next prompt. So that is a blue 3. And the prompt is daughter's choice. So that just means my daughter is going to choose a prompt for me. That might be a little bit scary, but we shall see. And then the last prompt will be a skip. So the game is definitely being nice to me. For the start of 2024, I am not going to complain. So we've got 2 prompts for the month of January. Let me go pull something to finish a series with and then have my daughter choose something for me to read. And I will be back with you shortly to share with you what has been chosen. Okay, so that was pretty interesting. Of course, something like that had to happen on our first round back. So the first card we pulled was a wild, which means I had to change out the deck. So we will not be playing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck for a bit. But like I had mentioned in the gameplay, if you'd like to vote this deck back to possibly play more rounds with it, definitely do that down in the link in the description box below and cast your vote for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck. If you want to cast your vote for any other deck, you can do that as well. I have several decks at this point. I'm constantly on the lookout for other decks as well. So yes, let me know which deck you'd like to see played next, the next time that we have a wild or after 3 rounds. That's kind of my thing. So yes, we got a wild, which means I could pick a prompt from any color. And so I decided to go with green, and that was to finish a series. So for a little bit there, I was a little bit concerned because I wasn't sure that I was even remotely close to finishing any series. But thankfully, my daughter came in and she was like, yeah, you've got like 3 different series that you could possibly finish up. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you, thank you. So I have chosen for finish a series, Volume 2 of Manner of Death by Samon. This has art by Yukari Umemoto, published by Yen Press. This one's rated mature. So this is a duology about a medical examiner who gets called to the scene of a suicide and then notices that this couldn't possibly have been a suicide. So in his report, he's preparing to write down that it was a homicide. He gets accosted in his home, basically told that if he doesn't rule this a suicide, bad things are going to happen to him and people that he loves. And so he now is kind of out on a mission to try to find out what the heck is going on with this case. And after he tells one of his good friends about his suspicions that good friend goes missing, so he obviously is aware now that, you know, the threats were real. And so the story follows his investigation and trying to uncover the truth of what happened without triggering repercussions for himself. I really enjoyed Volume 1. There is a BL storyline that goes along with this story. It's murder mystery. It's slightly suspenseful, slightly romantic. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. This is a Thai BL, I believe. So really, really enjoyed Volume 1. Looking forward to seeing how we're going to wrap things up in Volume 2, even though I'm not quite sure what to expect with this one after what had been revealed at the end of Volume 1, but still very interested to see how this one's going to wrap up. So that's what I have chosen for Finish a Series. So then we switched the deck, and I chose the Super Mario Brothers deck because nobody voted since the last time that we switched the deck. So I chose the Super Mario deck. We got a blue 3. And so for Blue 3, the prompt was Daughter's Choice. And so I asked my daughter what she wanted me to read. And so after a think on it, she came up with Bungo Stray Dogs, Volume 2 in the light novels, Osamu Dazai, and The Dark Era. This is by Kafka Asagiri and illustrations by Songo Harukawa. Published by Yen On, ages 13 and up, so that is teen. So this, I am not sure, it's just the second in the light novel series. It says, before he joined the Armed Detective Agency, Osamu Dazai was the youngest ever executive with the Port Mafia, the most notorious underground crime syndicate of all of Yokohama. 3 of its members, Dazai, Odasaku, and Ango, formed a camaraderie despite their vast disparities in rank. When Ango suddenly goes missing, Odasaku, a lowly mafia grunt, receives direct orders from their boss to find him, only for Ango's trail to lead Odasaku to a mysterious foreign criminal organization called Mimic. At last, the reason why Dazai parted ways with the Port Mafia is revealed. So this is another like prequel story, sounds like, because when Bungo Stray Dogs, this series in the manga and in the anime starts, Osamu Dazai is already part of the Armed Detective Agency. And so this is a prequel story. The previous story was not a prequel story. The previous story actually was his very first days in the Armed Detective Agency. So the Armed Detective Agency is a detective agency that is filled with people who have some kind of ability. And their most notorious rival is the Port Mafia, who Osamu Dazai used to be a part of. Obviously, you've just been told that. So, yes, I do really enjoy this series. All, I think, of the characters are based on actual authors. So we don't only have Japanese authors, but we also have authors worldwide. So I've seen Ellen Montgomery, Edgar Allan Poe, John Steinbeck, I believe, was in a volume that I read recently, and I'm really interested to get into this novel because I have just recently read a couple of volumes of Bungo Stray Dogs, the manga, in my manga advent calendar project for December. So we've also started rewatching the anime because it's been so long since we've watched the anime. I think we got up through season 2 and then stopped and took a really long break. So we're restarting the anime. And so it's now the perfect time for me to just read more Bungo Stray Dogs. And so I'm really glad that she chose this one for me. So that is what I am reading for Daughter's Choice. And then my last card was a skip. So that means I do not have to read anything for this card. So 2 books so far. So good. Now, I also have my Monochrome Manga Club selections for the month of January. The Monochrome Manga Club is an in-real-life manga club that I host at a local Barnes & Noble, where we read 2 first-in-a-series selections, and we're doing 2 series reads. So our selections for January will be Volume 1 of The Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. So this is by Sing & Song, adapted by Umi from Readai Studio. So this was actually a selection that one of my manga club members had requested. She has been talking about this series for a really long time. It is available to read on Webtoons in case you're interested in joining us, but it has also been released as manhwa physically. It was released earlier in December. So if you'd like to pick up a copy, you can do that as well. But this one is published by Issei Press, and it's probably older teen. This one says, as a struggling office worker, Dr. Kim's sole joy in life is an online novel so obscure that he's its only reader. Then one day the story comes to an end, and so does the world. People all around the globe suddenly find themselves being massacred by horrific monsters or pitted against each other in sadistic scenarios straight out of the novel. However, only Dokja is aware that this is merely the first chapter of what is to come. Knowing that devastating plot twists are on the horizon, he can no longer afford to sit back as a reader. It's time for Dokja to step up and write his own destiny. So like I said, my manga club member has been reading this one and just gushing over the story. And so we're really excited to pick this one up in January and discuss it as a club. And so like I said, if you'd like to join us in reading this one or any of our Monochrome Manga Club selections, you can do so and either chat with me in the comments of our Monochrome Manga Club videos or in our Discord, which is also linked down in the description box below. So Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Volume 1 is our first in the series selection. And then our next first in the series selection is going to be Obey Me, the comic. So this is story and art by Subaru Nito and original work by NTT Somare. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So this is based on the hit mobile game Obey Me. There is an anime series as well. The episodes are about 5 minutes long, I think. And I believe they were available on YouTube. I'm not sure if they are still. I've only watched a couple. But this one says, as the underworld school bell rings, a little sheep wakes up at the Royal Academy of Diavolo in the Devildom, where 7 eccentric demon brothers await. This woolly critter is actually a human exchange student, so how did they end up a sheep? Everything is blank. Now the sheep must figure out how to turn back into a human and regain their memories as Lucifer and the other demons raise hell with devilish hijinks. So we've got all of our characters here. Satan, Belphegor, Mammon, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, and Leviathan. And so, yeah, I thought this might be interesting to read because we did read Volume 1 of Twisted Wonderland, which is also a mobile game. So I thought having another read about a mobile game would be interesting as well. I'm not sure if any of our members are playing this mobile game or have played this mobile game, but I know several of them were playing Twisted Wonderland. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to this one. Like I said, I have watched a couple episodes of the anime, and I thought it was interesting enough. And so I'm looking forward to getting into this series. So those are our 2 first in the series selections. We'll also be continuing our series read of Full Metal Alchemist with volumes 22, 23, and 24. So this is by Hiromu Arakawa, published by Viz, rated teen. So this is that story that follows the Elric brothers who can do alchemy. One has lost his body, the other has lost an arm and a leg due to something that they did in their childhood. And so they're kind of going around trying to figure out how to get their body parts back. And so there is something going on in the world, and Ed and Al are privy to that, and they're trying to figure out how to stop what these people are trying to do with the help of some of the other state alchemists and other people that they have come across and met in their lifetime. And so I've been really enjoying the read of this series. This is the first time I'm actually reading through the manga, though I have watched both anime adaptations. So it's been really interesting. There are a couple of things that I've read that I didn't remember seeing. So it's been a while since I've actually watched the anime, though. So it could just be a memory issue that I'm having. But I've been really enjoying reading these. And I'm looking forward to seeing the final volumes, because I believe we are almost done with the series. So very interested to continue with that one. And we did finish Persona 4 in December, so we will be starting a new series read in the month of January. And as voted on by the members of my manga club, we will be reading Assassination Classroom. So this one is published by Viz. It is by Yusei Matsui and is available on the Shonen Jump app. Again, if you'd like to join us in reading this particular title. So this one, I have watched most of the anime. We did stop watching towards the end. But this one says the students in Class 3E of Kunigigaoka Junior High have a new teacher, an alien octopus with bizarre powers and unlimited strength, who's just destroyed the moon and is threatening to destroy the Earth unless they can kill him first. Meet the would-be assassins of Class 3E. Sugino, who lets his grades slip and got kicked off the baseball team. Karma, who's doing well in his classes but keeps getting suspended for fighting. And Okuda, who lacks both academic and social skills yet excels in one subject, chemistry. Who has the best chance of winning that reward? Will the deed be accomplished through pity, brute force, or poison? And what chance does their teacher have of repairing his students' tattered self-esteem? So this is definitely a series that I have been avoiding reading. And it's mostly because of my attachment to the characters, I will say. But because my Monochrome Manga Club members want to read this one, I'm going to go ahead and read this through in its completion. Yes, we will be reading 2 volumes a month. So we will be reading volumes 1 and 2 in January. So like I said, if you want to join us in reading these selections, you can. You can either chat with me in the comments of the Monochrome Manga Club First Impressions video I do every month, or you can come and join us in the Discord. We have threads for everything that we've read recently. And so you can read any of those and chat with us, or you can read any of these selections and chat with us as well. So that is everything that I have planned to read in the month of January. I will say that I am also planning on participating in the Phase Out Your TBR Readathon Part 2 or Round 2 that's being hosted by Krys's Corner. I will leave the announcement video down in the description box below. But I have not finished my first phase because my manga advent calendar took precedence in my reads for December. And I was working on light novel in November, and just life got in the way and I wasn't able to finish my last prompt yet. I need to finish my last prompt for my first phase before I can go to phase 2. So I will be eventually getting to picking my prompts for phase 2, but I won't be sharing that with you here because I actually have not prepped for that yet since my first phase is not over. But if you'd like to see how I choose my prompts for the second phase, you can definitely watch me do that during my Deesa's 19 Diaries during the month. And so that's everything that I have plans to read in the month of January. So let me know down in the comments below what you will be reading as your first reads for the year. Do you have any goals that you will be trying to check off starting with your first reads of the year? I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of celebratory emoji for the beginning of the year, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.